that choice.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground with Christus Vivit, and lots of fruit and reflection to continue with. I'm wondering, maybe we can bring things to a bit of a close, but I'm wondering if there's a particular point or theme or a sentiment that you have as a result of reflecting on Christus Vivit that comes to mind for you that you'd kind of like to summarize.
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing that I'm taking away is just the way that Pope Francis characterizes young people with youthful energy and vibrancy. If I can tell just a quick little story. When I was in grade 8, I walked into class one morning, and my friend Trent came up to me and he was like, "Jamin, look over my shoulder. Look over my left shoulder." And so I looked over his shoulder, and I saw this new girl that had just joined our class, and I just fell in love. I saw a face that would launch 1,000 ships, and I just
Wow.
totally became infatuated with her like instantly. And I'm still trying to recover from that. Like that
Wow.
that experience of falling in love for the first time just transforms everything in a young person. And I think the rest of my youth up until today has been like trying to unpack that and like, what am I really longing for in that experience of like feeling this passion and erotic longing and desire and all that kind of stuff. I like what C.S. Lewis, I think he said, we long for, when we feel this longing, we're actually desiring the scent of a flower that's yet unfound. And so for me, that girl that I fell in love with was like the scent of a flower, but she wasn't actually the flower. Like I was actually searching for something bigger and more infinite than she could ever be. And what I was longing for is God, and I tried to fulfill that longing in all sorts of different things, from that girl to sports to popularity to music to whatever. But what I was really searching for is God, and like that kind of passion is for me the biggest thing that characterizes youthfulness. It's like that unabashed, just searching for God in whatever we think will bring us that fulfillment.
Mm-hmm. For me, I think it's the fact that to not waste these years of my youth, and that it's exciting to think, because one of the questions you're going to bring up is what inspires us in Christus Vivit about evangelization. And what excites me is that when evangelizing to young people, is that we have a big role, and just because we're young doesn't mean we have to hold back, right? Like the 1 Timothy 4:12, let no one despise your youth. And it excites me to think that evangelization is bringing in young people to something that is alive. And that's just reminding me that the Catholicism and our church is very much alive and wants to be alive. And when going out evangelizing, and even one-on-one with friends and stuff, is that I'm bringing or helping people, bringing people to God, and to bringing them into something that is very much vibrant and alive.
For me, the standout is just, I hear Pope Francis calling us as young people, but also just as individuals. And he talks in paragraph 162 about how we are to imitate the saints, but not be copycats. Mm-hmm. And he talks about how we have our own gifts and talents and our uniqueness, and each person of God, each young person has something unique to offer, and just being encouraged in the creativity, in the energy, in all those things that we have to offer. But me, Catherine, I have something to offer the church that I need to discover and live boldly in, as I try to become a saint and try to become holy and all those things. So just the energy to me transfers out in this call, this encouragement to that uniqueness, to that creativity that we can hope for in young people and encourage them in. Yeah.
I think if I had to summarize what this document meant to me, I would quote paragraph 132. I think this is mostly a quote from someone else that Pope Francis cites, but it says, "Are you looking for passion?" I'm kind of going with what you were sharing, Clark. As that beautiful poem says, "Fall in love, or let yourself be loved." Because nothing is more practical than finding God, than falling in love in a quite absolute final way. What you are in love with, what seizes your imagination, will affect everything. It will decide what will get you out of bed in the morning, what you do with your evenings, how you spend your weekends, what you read, whom you know, what breaks your heart, and what amazes you with joy and gratitude. Fall in love, stay in love, and it will decide everything. This love for God that can approach everything in life with passion is possible thanks to the Spirit, for God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. And that last line is from Romans. And I think that's what I was most encouraged in reading this document. At another place, he cites Revelation 2:4, where one of the churches is being chastised about, you have left your first love, and then the call to return to the first love. So the church is called to continually keep our eyes focused on Jesus. And so in this document, I found refreshment in that, I think, in the call in my own life. To return to Jesus, who is to be all of our first love, and let that determine everything.
Yeah, the call to the first love. Well, we've covered a lot of ground, and there's probably more ground to cover. We'll do that some other time in different contexts here in the diocese and elsewhere. But I thank each of you, Clark and Catherine and Jerome and Caitlin, for your generous sharing and just sort of invitation to delve into this. And blessings on your journeys. And we'll see where the good Lord leads us through Christus Vivit and with the guidance of the Holy Spirit. So may the Lord bless us in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God bless.